Hi, thanks for spending some time with me today. We're looking at number 14 in Charlie Porter's Lyrical Etudes book. This is an F sharp minor, and it's very lyrical. A lot of wide intervals, a lot of smooth, expressive, soaring lines. So I'm going to try and do it justice. I'm playing today on the C trumpet. Okay, I want to talk about the flub in the middle. I was very distracted before I started because I realized that a couple of videos ago I failed to press record. So that whole video is basically lost now. Ooh, so you can see how that would be a little bit of a distraction. Oh, okay, I need to go back and check those files. So my mind is going everywhere. When I made the mistake, it's because I wasn't present. So this has to do with one of the most important things when you're playing is you have to put everything else aside and give yourself a vacation, in a sense, from what you consider to be your reality and enter into the reality of the music and live there. And when you do that, it's very therapeutic. But sometimes that's really difficult, especially if you're playing in what you feel is a pressure situation, or you're playing something that's extremely difficult. And these are pretty difficult for those of you who play. Most of you will recognize that. But they also offer great musical opportunities. So I want to just look at one thing that gives people a lot of problems here. And I won't get into the physical details. That's for another forum, another session. But we all have this same issue, is shifting from the lower register up, especially in larger intervals, and from the higher register down. And a lot of Charlie's etudes have this type of musical activity that we have to deal with. So you need to get comfortable with it. Now, the most obvious place right at the beginning it's bar 7. So you've been going in a very interesting way. The beginning of the line, which is bar 5, you have descending lines and then ascending, descending intervals. So you're constantly changing direction. That does not make it easier for most people because there's a tendency to compensate in some way physically. Maybe we're dropping our jaw, we're doing things with the mouthpiece pressure, maybe our throat's trying to control the air. A lot of things can go wrong. But if you just concentrate on what you're actually trying to do, you're trying to have that feeling of flowing stability. If you've watched some of my other videos, I may have mentioned growing up on skis. So from the time I was about 5, I never had lessons. I just watched great skiers ski and went out and just had fun. And sometimes that's the best way to learn. So here, you're trying to let yourself have fun, and when you're fighting all the time, it's not fun. So what's the idea? Get that feeling of sustained, stable flow. So when you're skiing, it's that feeling of just carving a long turn. It's a beautiful sensation. Anybody who does movement sports, has some familiarity with this. So tap into your inner physical genius and see if you can remember the taste of this, because that's what we're trying to apply, what we're trying to discover, what you're trying to tap into when you play this. But there's some practical things. I'm going to play that lick again. had a little hitch there. My throat tried to control the air. Now, I don't worry about that. That's going to happen when you practice, but you want to discover why. So what I was concentrating on is just one thing. Sustain the sound gently, don't force anything, and be ready for the next note. And so this is what slow practice is for. But it doesn't do any good just to go slow. By going slowly, what you're doing is you're actually have more time to pay attention to what's going on when you're playing. So what I'm paying attention is, am I balanced on the note? Am I ready for the next note? So when I go slower, you hear I'm kind of pausing a little bit. That gives me time to be ready for the next note. And that's really the key. When you're performing music, it's always flow. So you're trying to flow in the moment to the next moment and maintain the balance, which means you're anticipating where you're going all the time. If we did that in our lives, we'd probably be a lot happier. It's like, what I'm doing now, where is this leading? Yeah, think about that. It may be a little bit uncomfortable, but it's a good idea. It's like, what I'm working on now, is this going to benefit someone else, or is it going to benefit me? Or will it have a destructive effect of some kind? And that's a good way for all of us to kind of take the pause that refreshes and reflect on how our minds are working. Now, this is really important for music performance, and it gives us an opportunity to do this in a very practical way. I'm just going to play the end of the piece. It was a little bit rough by the time I got there. I'm going to try and play with a little bit more musical freedom, maybe. So I'm going to start what is it now? I lost my bar numbers. Okay, it's before the più mosso, 3 bars. That's about the end of the third line from the bottom if you have the music. I'd encourage you to get the music. So all the way through there, you hear me pushing and pulling a little bit. I was saying, I think I'm going to play this one loud. Oh, no, I'm going to play this one soft. I'm going to wait a little bit, and then I'm going to do a delicate attack on this one. And I played it softer than I would for performance. That's a little tentative. Oh, now I have real tone. That was better. See, I'm paying attention to the details of the quality. Now, you can get lost in there, but it also allows you to take just 1 or 2 bars or one single phrase and practice it in this way where you're trying to improve the quality of your control and improve the quality of the musical results coming out of your instrument. And then it's all good. So I'm getting a loopy right now because it's well into the afternoon and I haven't eaten anything yet, I just realized. So I'll go do that now and hopefully be back with you before very long. In any case, have a good day, enjoy your practice, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.